Listen to me, you're closer than you think. You're putting in the hours, grinding through problem sets, sacrificing even weekends. But you're also making some critical mistakes. Mistakes that are silently holding you back, robbing you of the score you deserve. And here's the thing, after helping hundreds of students to prepare for the SAT, I've realized that most students never even realize they're making these critical 12 mistakes. That's why in this video, I'm gonna show you the 12 biggest mistakes stopping you from hitting a 1500 plus on the SAT. Now let's talk about mistake number 1. You've had a good study session before, right? You've solved questions, felt like a genius, and thought, I've got this. But then what happens? You stop. You take a break for a day, maybe a week, thinking you've earned it. And just like that, the momentum is gone. Honestly, momentum is everything. A single miss a day can spiral into inconsistency. And without consistency, 1500 plus, forget about it. Here's what I did. Every day, I would spend about at least 20 minutes reviewing one section. Not hours, just 20 minutes. Keep the momentum alive and watch your progress snowball. And that's just the first mistake. The second one, oh, it's even worse because it's something that almost everyone does without even realizing it. Practice tests. They're gold, right? Wrong. At least not when you treat them like trophies instead of tools. Most students finish a test, check their score, and stop. No review, no analysis. Let me tell you something. It's not about how many practice tests you take, it's about what you do after it. Review every single question, even the ones you got right, because luck doesn't count on test day. Another thing that so many students don't do is to ask themselves these 3 questions. Why did I get this wrong? Why did I get this right? How can I avoid this mistake again? But that's just scratching the surface. Let's move on to the third mistake. Let me guess, you've been studying for 3 to 4 hours straight, thinking that this is what it takes. But let me tell you something, the SAT isn't just a top test of knowledge, it's a test of endurance. You definitely need breaks, strategic ones though. During my prep, I studied in 90-minute blocks, then a 10-minute break to reset. This keeps your brain sharp and ready to absorb more. And here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually practiced sitting still for 4 hours? Because if you can't endure test conditions, all that knowledge in your head, it won't matter. Now let's move on to mistake number 4. Look, I know it's tempting to follow a viral study schedule, but here's the truth. What works for someone else might ruin your chances. Are you weak in math? Focus there. You struggle with reading comprehension? Double down on that. Don't spread yourself too thin trying to do everything. You have to prioritize your weaknesses. One of the best things I did was focusing on just one major weakness at a time. It's not about doing everything, it's all about doing the right ones. And if you think that is important, wait until you hear about the mistake that every single high scorer avoids. SAT success isn't about how many words you can cram into your brain or how many formulas you can recall. It's about application. Here's my question for you. Can you actually use those formulas under pressure? Can you spot the trap answers in reading? And if you're just memorizing, you're playing defense. Understanding, that's paying offense. And the next mistake is something you might not even realize you're doing. And it's keeping you stuck in the 1400s. These are just a few of the mistakes that are holding you back, but trust me, the next ones, there's the difference between staying average and absolutely crushing the SAT. If you're serious about stats 1500 plus, stay tuned. We all know the importance of practice tests, but here's the thing. If you're taking too many tests without reviewing your answers or mistakes deeply, you're wasting valuable time. This mistake is like working out without resting. You're pushing yourself but not growing. So, how do you fix this? Don't just take tests for the sake of it. When you finish one, spend a solid 2 to 3 hours analyzing every wrong answer. Understand why you got it wrong. Then go back to those concepts and review them until they are burned into your memory. Slowly but surely, you will see those scores creep higher. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And trust me, the results will follow. So mistake number 7, thinking the SAT is just about what you know. This is a big one. Perhaps people think that if I just study the content, I will do great. But I'm gonna be really honest with you, it's not just about what you know, it's about how you take the test. It's a game, and you need to play it. Take the reading section as an example. It's not just about reading comprehension, it's also about logical thinking and strategy. You need to know how to quickly identify the right answers and eliminate the wrong ones. The same goes for math. It's not just solving equations, and it's knowing when to skip a question and come back to later. The SAT is much about smart test-taking strategies as it's about content knowledge. You can master the content, but if you don't understand the game, you're setting yourself up for failure. You've probably heard this 100 times, but time management on the SAT is make or break. If you spend too much on one question, you are leaving points on the table. I want you to imagine this. You're in the middle of the test and you've spent 10 minutes on a math question that you still haven't figured out. You know you're running out of time. Stress starts to kick in. Now imagine this instead. You've already skipped that tough question, answered the easiest one, and you're moving forward with confidence. That's the difference between having a strategy and not having one. When it comes to the SAT, time management isn't just a skill, it's your secret weapon. Anxiety is a silent killer when it comes to the SAT. And here's the kicker. Anxiety doesn't just show up on test day. It starts weeks, even months before the test. But what if you could tackle the anxiety head on before it's too late? The secret? Deep breathing exercises, meditation, visualization techniques. Imagine walking into that test center calm, confident, and completely focused. That's the power of managing your anxiety early before it takes control. And here's another one, thinking you're done once you've studied something. But the real magic happens when you go back and review. Let's say you've learned a math concept, algebra for example, but just reviewing it once won't make it stick. You need to go back to your mistakes and analyze them. Why did I get this question wrong? Was it a silly mistake, or did you really not understand the concept well? The more you review your mistakes, the more you solidify your learning. That's how you can make sure you'll never make the same mistake twice. In fact, every mistake is an opportunity to improve. And trust me, it's those small improvements that will add up to a massive score boost. We've all been there, trying to study everything the night before the test. It's tempting, I get it. But cramming does more harm than good. The SAT tests your long-term understanding of concepts, not your ability to memorize things the night before. Plus, all-nighters can leave you groggy and unfocused. Instead, give yourself some time to spread out your study sessions, focus on deep learning, and practice over time. That's the winning strategy, and trust me, cramming is not the key to success here. Let me be brutally honest with you. Consistency is almost everything. If you're studying for a few days, then taking weeks off, you're not giving yourself a fair shot. Success doesn't come from bursts of effort. It comes from steady and consistent work. Whether it's 30 minutes a day or not, or an hour, you need to show up regularly, even on days when you're tired or unmotivated. Consistency will definitely push you through. I can promise you, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to outlast the others, and consistency is how you do that. And if you found these mistakes helpful and want to learn more strategies, imagine how much your SAT score could improve if you had access to all the best secrets in one place. Click on this playlist right here, SAT Tips, where I've shared the advanced strategies and hacks that have helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores in just a few weeks.